So this one is from CBSSports.com. Biggest need for every AFC team ahead of training camp. For the Browns, they say linebacker. Cleveland has a case for having the league's best roster. The Browns do not have any needs that would submarine the team's effort. JOK has all-pro potential, but the rest of that unit is up for grabs. Veterans Jordan Hicks and Devin Bush are competing with youngsters Nathaniel Watson, Tony Fields, and Muhammad Diabate. And I think Jordan Hicks is pretty good, and I keep seeing these things, and I think teams are sleeping. The guy has 5 straight years of 100-plus tackles. I think he's an upgrade over what they had.
Yeah, absolutely. I think all these articles I see with this preface that the linebacker is a place of need is undervaluing what Jordan Hicks is. He's an automatic 100 tackles. Then when you have a player like JOK who consistently gets behind the line of scrimmage, and even when he doesn't make the play, he redirects ball carriers, having a guy to clean up like Jordan Hicks is imperative. And he's not competing with those guys. It's his spot. The Browns run 2 linebacker sets the vast majority of the time. Now, there's going to be games against Baltimore, maybe Philly, where you see more 3 linebacker looks. But in that case, you also have a rookie, Nathaniel Watson, Devin Bush. You have players you can rotate in and out. If you have to give JOK a breather, you got a player like Tony Fields. We really don't know what Diabate is, but I do not see linebacker as a position of need. I think it's in a much better spot this year than it was last year. What I would say is look at tight end. That would be the area of need for me.
The other thing, to your point, we did something a couple weeks ago. The Browns played base, so 3 linebackers, 16% of the time. It was the lowest amount in the entire NFL. They're looking to get to 2 linebackers, and they can do that because of their safeties and their defensive. They may go 5 front, they may go 3 safeties. Depends on what Jim Schwartz decides he wants to do.
Because Delpit's a pseudo linebacker. You can literally just put McLeod and Thornhill back there and walk Delpit up, and then boom, that's your 3rd linebacker. So the Browns are flexible in that regard, and I would expect that to even go down again this year.
The other thing that I think you're kind of underestimating Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah as well. Don't forget how well he played the second half of the year, and I think it's going to only get better because I think he finally has a guy who's like, just go find the ball and make it mayhem.
Yeah, and he has the best movement skills of any linebacker in the league. He does lack some size, but the way he plays the game, he's the perfect size for his style. And I just look at what he was able to accomplish last year with a competent defensive tackle room in front of him. That is a big piece that people keep looking over. He finally has freedom of movement without having guards pushed in his lap and guards collapsing down on him. So for him, it's all about being able to see the ball trigger, get downhill. With his movement skills, that is a natural thing for him to do.
And you can be sure Jim Schwartz has had an entire offseason to say, all right, let's do this with Delpit and this with Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. That's when he's talking about change-ups and curveballs. That's what he's talking about.
Well, those are the 2 players that I always point to just being weapons, being just whiteboard players that when offensive coordinators in their meeting rooms, obviously you got 95. You're worrying about 95. But now you got 6 and you got 9, and they can move around and they can do a ton of different stuff. So for me, the more players that you have that offensive coordinators have to spend time on during meetings and during practices it suits your defense. It just gives you an advantage. So having a player like Delpit, having a player like JOK that are basically position agnostic and can do so much. They can do coverage. They can come on blitz. They can support the run game, and they can affect the game behind the line of scrimmage, which is uncommon for back end defensive players.